Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on volume. The volume of any solid object is the amount of space that is contained within the object. Volume is measured in cubic units. That is, we calculate the number of small cubes inside the object in order to find its volume. So, if a rectangular box has its dimensions stated in centimetres, for example, we calculate how many cubic centimetres can fit inside the box. The following object represents 1 cubic centimetre. This is the easiest example of a cubic centimetre. It is actually a cube where the three sides are all equal. So that represents 1 cubic centimetre. You can have other shapes, but as long as the volume is 1 cubic centimetre. The above object is an example of a rectangular box. Since we know the lengths of the three sides, we can calculate the volume. So the three sides are 4 centimetres, 3 centimetres and 5 centimetres. So the volume, we calculate that by using the formula volume equals length multiplied by width multiplied by height, and the answer will be in cubic centimetres. So that's 4 centimetres by 3 centimetres by 5 centimetres, 60 cubic centimetres. So this object here has 60 of these cubes, and that's what makes up that object. See that cube there, which has the sides of 1 centimetre? There are 60 of those which make up that object, and that's what it means. Choice of units. For small objects, we would normally use millimetres or centimetres. For larger objects, we would normally use metres. Example 1. The die to the right is a relatively small object, hence we use millimetres. Now the word die, D-I-E, that's the singular of dice. When you hear the word dice, that means 2 or more. But when you're just talking about 1, that's D-I-E. That's the singular. I hope you don't mind that little English lesson. Now, let's assume that the dimensions of this die are 5 millimetres by 5 millimetres and 5 millimetres high, because it's a cube. So the volume of the die is 5 millimetres times 5 millimetres times 5 millimetres, which is 125 cubic millimetres. Example 2. A garage is 8 metres long, 5 metres wide and 3 metres high. Calculate the volume. There's the formula for calculating the volume. These are the three dimensions. When you multiply them together, you get a volume of 120 cubic metres. Here is this prism here, which has the three sides. You multiply those three dimensions together to get the volume, and you have a volume of 330 cubic centimetres. You can pause the video at any time at your leisure and check all those calculations, and you can also check the understanding. Example 4. The above garden bed is 3 metres long, 2 metres wide and 0.5 metres high. What volume of soil will it hold? So the volume, you multiply the length by the width by the height, and when you do that, the volume of soil is 3 cubic metres. The above backyard pool is 8 metres long, 4 metres wide and 2 metres deep. What is the volume? You multiply the dimensions together and you get a volume of 64 cubic metres. Now you can see that this topic of volume is very easily applied in everyday life. So those everyday examples, they're quite realistic. So knowing about volume, that's a very, very handy skill, a very handy piece of knowledge.